Hello, my name is Mike Lowry, and I'd like to thank you for inviting me here to speak with you today on how to best retain good employees and prepare them for future leadership roles in our organization. I'm primarily going to be looking at Frederick Herzberg and his two-factor theories on his two-factor theory on how we can do this. In the 1950s, Herzberg and some of his associates surveyed over 200 accountants and engineers. And in this survey, he was looking to find out when they were really satisfied at work and when they felt really dissatisfied at work. After compiling the results of the survey, he saw there's two very distinct categories that he used to formulate his theory of motivation on. The two-factor theory is what he referred to this model as. It's also sometimes called the motivation hygiene theory. The stories around feeling good at work all involved things such as opportunities for achievement, being given responsibility, having opportunities to advance and learn. And these factors are all things that center around self-direction, productivity. Herzberg referred to these things as motivating factors. The times when people felt bad at work, they involved things such as unfair pay, company policies, poor managers, working conditions. Herzberg referred to these as hygiene factors, comparing them to personal hygiene and the way that good personal hygiene does not lead to good health by itself, but good hygiene can prevent illness. So he was looking at these hygiene factors as if they were good. It doesn't lead them to satisfaction by themselves, but no, it can prevent dissatisfaction. Herzberg noted that hygiene factors could lead to satisfaction at times, but that satisfaction was short-lived. The lack of hygiene factors, however, did lead to long-term dissatisfaction. To increase motivating factors, Herzberg encouraged job enrichment. The factors he identified as being key to job enrichment are what we today call employee engagement. He identified factors such as giving employees the chance to interact daily with their clients, being able to communicate across the company to obtain information, and being given the resources that are needed to do their jobs efficiently and effectively as key ingredients to job enrichment programs. So what? This data is over 65 years old. You may be asking, what does that mean today? How can I use this old theory to improve our employee retention and succession planning? And I believe that there are three things that we can take directly from Herzberg's two-factor theory on motivation that we can implement pretty quickly and easily to help retention rates and help to prepare our leaders of tomorrow. For starters, we need to have a good baseline of our hygiene factors. We want to ensure that we don't have a bunch of dissatisfied employees on our hands. First step is just simply asking our employees what they want. How do they feel about our current pay philosophy? What do they think about our work schedules and how we schedule them and where we schedule them? What about our current benefits? We need to know kind of where we are before we go anywhere. And this is kind of the first step. The data that we obtain can kind of can allow us to see where we stack up in our industry when it comes to things like pay and benefits. There's many comp and benefit surveys, for example, that we can participate in, find out where we are in the market, whether that market is regionally or locally or something more nationally or globally, depending on what we're looking for. And we can also take the data that we get from the focus groups and review our policies. Do we have things like remote work policies and flexible scheduling that line up with what our employees desire or what they maybe expect? Same thing with things like time off policy or maternity leave and paternity leave policies. Are we providing kind of the baseline of what employees desire? Just a thorough review of our policies through the lens of our employees' opinions can yield a lot of short-term satisfaction and long-term hygiene to keep employees from becoming dissatisfied. The second thing would be to implement job sharing and cross-training opportunities. We need to find out where our employees' interests lie outside of what their current jobs are. Do we have employees already here that have the capacity to learn other jobs that we may have available that may be related? For example, do we have somebody in HR who might be interested in what goes on in accounting? Do we have an accountant who maybe has a big interest and knowledge base in the IT world? And where can they kind of expand and broaden their skill set? This gives employees a broader view of our company and how we operate. They still have to be responsible for their regular tasks and their jobs, but giving them a little bit more control, and when they complete the tasks and how they complete the tasks and when they can go elsewhere to job share and cross train, can be very motivating to a lot of employees. Just giving them the freedom to come and go to different areas as long as they're still getting their work done. It's showing that we have trust in them. So not only are we improving the motivation and engagement, but like I said, we're preparing our future leaders by giving them a broader view of the organization, letting them see how it works in other departments and other areas that we have. The final thing that I would recommend is implementing a robust recognition program. This involves probably a lot of the factors more so than the other two. But again, looking at the data from our focus groups, what do our employees like? Each manager should have an idea of what their employees enjoy, if they prefer public recognition or something more private. We also need to empower our employees to recognize their coworkers. Things such as we can create departmental blogs or bulletin boards where employees can kind of give a shout out and recognize when their coworker has really helped them out, or when they think that they've really exceeded on a project or any other task. That'd be a good idea to have a small budget, just for the little gifts and tokens. Set money aside for managers to be able to take employees out to lunch as a thank you for a job well done, or maybe give them a gift card to get a cup of coffee, or take them for a cup of coffee, or whatever may be appropriate based on how they choose to be recognized or how they'd like to be recognized. Supervisors on all levels need to have access to communicate with the higher levels of management all the way up to the executive team. This way, excuse me, this allows the direct supervisors with knowledge of what the employees are doing every day to give them access to let executives know when we have an employee that is truly excelling at their job, or really excelled at a project, or whatever the case may be. That would allow the executive member uh, to kind of give their own recognition to the employee, to show that the company is serious about recognizing and thanking employees for jobs well done, and seeing that we're paying attention at all levels. Something that sometimes is overlooked is just giving employees a chance to interact with our clients, whether that client is Karen from accounting or Joe from some external sales client. Just making sure that employees can see directly how their work impacts real people in real time can make a huge difference. The three previous slides all include things that we can use to make sure that we have motivated and engaged workforce. These will help retention rates and help us define and develop our future leaders. The terms that Frederick Herzberg used in the 1950s may not be the same as what we use today, but they do mean very much the same thing. And I thank you once again for your time.